Welcome back to Your Darts, where we learn to do dart checkouts in our head. Let's finish off these one dart setups. Let's get to it. So before we begin, as with all these videos, I'd just like to give you an example of why learning the essential two dart finishes, which can be found on any crib sheet, why they're so important as a first place to start. So for instance, if you have 1, 4, 5, if we're going to use treble 20 for the first dart, and we'll be covering other trebles, but treble 20, dead easy to work out. So you throw in treble 20, there's a rule of 40 comes into play. This is my little formula that changed everything for me. And to apply it, you just put 40 onto the last two digits, and suddenly 145 becomes treble 20, leaving 85. Okay, and you got two darts to take out 85. Now I previously taught you two ways to do this. So 85 is the first dart indicator, where the actual number itself, it can indicate the first dart you need. It's always this number here. So 5, so it's treble 15, which is 45, and you need another 40 to make it 85, so it's double 20. Okay, or you can go, and that's the way I prefer, or you can go treble 19. Okay, which is probably a little easier to hit than treble 15 for a lot of people, because treble 19s are like our most second common treble that we create that muscle memory with after treble 20, I guess. So you can go treble 19 for double 14. Okay, so it's all about what you prefer. So don't see this as 145, even though it's a big number. See this as treble 20, leaving 85. And of course, go away, learn your essential two dart finishes, what I call the golden 44, because they're that essential. They deserve a title, I think. And then, you know, you'll be motoring. So here is the list of the misrule numbers for these golden 44 numbers. Okay, we've missed the treble, hit the single number. We'll do that more times than not. We've only got two darts to do this. We've got one dart left. How should we approach these numbers if we've only got one dart? Does it change any different from the two dart finishes that we've learned? Let's find out. So let's start with these one dart setups for the common misrule numbers. Okay, so we've missed the treble, hit the big number, and these are the numbers what are left. So say if you had a finish of 96, and if you know these, just shout them out. It's always good little practice. Treble 20 for double 18. But in this case, we missed treble 20, hit the big 20. This is this misrule coming into play, and it reveals the first example of the night, number 76. Now, I have taught 76 for a two dart finish as treble 20 double 8. Okay, that's absolutely valid, and it's also first dart indicated by the furthest right number. So treble 16 for double 14. Okay, now that's a good way to go. Double 14 is a good double, really. It's a common double, so we should be good at it, or we certainly should be practicing it. So you go for your treble 16, you hit it, you come back to the board, three darts at double 14. Not too bad. If you miss your treble 16 and hit your big 16, it would leave 60. So quite a nice easy number to work out as well. You're just taking 16 off 76, so it's quite easy to see it, and also quite easy to go for in the board. Nothing's easy to hit, but it's easy to work out. Okay, let's just say that. Okay, but should you go, so you can go those ways if you got one dart. If I've only got one dart, yeah, sometimes I might throw out treble 20. Missing that treble 20, I leave 56. But if I've got one dart at 76, at the moment I often go double 18. But I do 8 because if I hit it, I come back to the board, three darts on my strongest double. So that's why I've justified it. It makes sense to me. I just do go on the air of side of caution. Just aim for this bottom wire, because we don't want to go outside the board and waste a dart. If I do hit the single 18, it leaves 58 when I come back to the board, which is really manageable. Easy for me to work out maths wise, but also easy to hit, well, kind of easy if I'm throwing well, single 18 for double 20. Okay, so that's what I do if I've got one dart at 76. I will generally just throw a double 18 for double 20. But you can go your single, you can go treble 20 for double 8, or you can go the way I've taught you, treble 16 for your double 14. So on to the next number. Say you had 98, the two dart finish. The only way to take out 98 is treble 20 double 19. Now I know it's a rubbish double, but that's the only way we can take 98 out. But we've gone for treble 20, we missed treble 20, hit the big 20, and it leaves number 78. Now the two dart finish I have previously taught you, again shout them out if you can remember them, because it's always good if you can. Treble 18 for double 12. Should you go this way if you had one dart? I think, yeah, why not? I can't see another way or another advantage to go any other way throwing at the board, so you might as well go for your treble 18 for double 12. If you hit your big 18, so this miss rule coming into play, you leave 60. And again, easy to work out, just take it 18 off 78, you leave 60. And a simple number to throw for, again, not easy to hit but easy to work out. Okay, that's what it all matters. So if I had one dart or even two darts, I would always throw for treble 18, coming back to the board for double 12. So on to the next number. So say we had 100, which is treble 20, double 20, but I've missed treble 20. I've hit the big 20, it would leave 80. Okay, now I've got one dart to take out 80. The two dart finish I've shown you, okay, is treble 20, well, a couple of ways, treble 24, double 10, and also you can go double 24, double 20 when you come back if you want to do that. And another option, which all 16s players will know this, I'm not generally a 16 player, even though I must admit I am getting that way. I really enjoy throwing at the 16s now, so it's quite good to become, you know, multi-purpose with your doubles, right? You don't want to just sticking out. Some people are just strict 20s or strict 16s. Practice all of them is what I say, and that's what I've been doing. So 80, you can go. You got one dart left on 80. Okay, you missed your treble at 100. You got one dart left. You can go treble 16 for your double 16 when you come back. If you hit your big 16, because you're more likely to do that, just take 20 off 80, which is 60, add 4 more on, so you'd come back to the board with 64. Okay, so a couple of options there if you've got one dart and you've got 80 left. To the next number of 84. So say if you have 100, okay, 101 rather, let's just get this right. So you got 101, not 100, don't listen to me. You got 101, the two dart finish for 101 is treble 17, because that's 51 for bullseye. But of course we've missed treble 17, we've hit the big 17, and it will leave your 84. You've only got one dart to go. Now I've taught you a two dart finish for 84, treble 20, double 12, and you may well go that way, go for your treble 20. Hitting the big 20 would leave 64 when you come back to the board. Okay, so manageable number to work out. But another option, if you do love the 18s, you can go treble 16. If you hit it, you come back to the board with 3 darts at your favourite double 18. Okay, but also if you hit the big 16, just take 20 off 84, which is 64. Add 4 more on, because it's 16 we're taking off, not 20, so it will be 68 when you come back to the board. So that's a couple of options for 84 if you find yourself you got one dart. Okay, you could probably go the same way you've learned your two dart finish, which is treble 20 for your double 12. On to the next example. Say if you had a 104 and you got 2 darts to take that out, you would go treble 18 for bull. Okay, you get the idea, that should be treble 18 for bull. If you miss your treble 18, hit the big 18, you are left with 86, and you've got one dart left. This is what it's all about. What would you do with these one dart setups? How do you set it up for a finish? So the two dart way to take out 86 is treble 18 for double 16, and I can't see another better way. So again, if I've got one dart left or two dart left, and of course we just talk about the one darts at the moment, so I would go your treble 18 coming back to the board with for double 16. If you miss your treble 18, hit your big 18, you would take 20 off 86, which is 66, and add 2 more on, it will be 68 when you come back to the board. So that's a couple of options there. If you've got one dart left for 80, or the one option, just go for treble 18 if you're on 86. So to the next example, so we have 107. We're going for the two dart finish for 107. Treble 19, which is 57, and we need the 50s to make it 107, but we've missed our treble 19. We've hit the single 19. We have 88 left. We've got one dart left. Now I've taught you a couple of ways, and they're both valid if you've got one dart. So the two ways I've showed you if you've got two darts is treble 20 for double 14, okay, or treble 18, treble 16 really rather, because that's 48 for double 20, which is 88. And you can go both ways. So you know, if you got one dart, you can do the same. You go for treble 20 coming back for double 14, or treble 16 for double 18. Hitting the big 16 would take 20 off 88, which is 68. Would be 72 when you come back to the board. Anyway, so that's a couple of options if you've only got one dart. It can go the same way that I've taught you for 2 darts. Yep, you don't need to learn anything new there. And to the last example of the day, 90. So if we have 110, where the 2 dart finish for 110, it's our biggest 2 dart finish, okay, is treble 20 bullseye. But again, on the theme of what we're talking about, we miss our treble and we've hit the big number, and it would leave 90. Now, you've got 1 dart left. You can go the ways that I've taught you. So the 2 dart finish for 90 is treble 20 for double 15. So you can throw your treble 20. Hitting it, you would come back to the board double 15. Not the greatest double to come back to the board to. Hitting the big 20 would leave 70 when you come back to the board. If you love your 18s, you can go throw for your treble 18, coming back to the board for double 18. Missing treble 18, hit the big 18, you would take 20 off 90, which is 70. Add 2 more on because it's 18, not 20 taken off, and it would be 72 you come back to the board with. Okay, but me personally, if I've got 90 and I've got 1 dart, I'm going to throw for the center of the board. I'm going to try and go for bullseye. If I hit it, which is 50 of course, it leaves me 40, so double 20 my favorite double. And if I hit the 25, it would leave 65 when I come back to the board. So but these are both numbers I don't mind coming back to the board with. So I would definitely, if I've got 90, I would throw at the center of the board because it's cool as well. So that's what I do. So that's your 1 dart setups for those numbers. And that should be covering all these essential 2 dart finishes now. Okay, so videos coming soon. We're going to be practicing the misrule numbers. There are patterns to these, and I want to show you how they're quite easy to work out. And also, should you throw the same way if you've got 3 darts on these 2 dart finishes, these golden 44 numbers, okay? Or should you approach it a different way? You're going to see that. And also, we're going to be covering these finishes below 60, like I've just mentioned. We need to know what we're going for those, okay? See if there's any patterns there I can share with you. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Take care for now.